You were going to move to the UK and I had said that's okay, but really there was just no way that it's going to work. Let's buy some dogs from Gumtree, rename them Charlie and Bowie, then try hard to become the favourite. Let's make a Sunday roast and you can call your mum while I play music to our dogs. They lie there embarrassed of their new dad. Get excited for Baileys, just like a little old lady who doesn't want to drink during the week. Let's practice making babies and one day we'll have one maybe. I can finally buy a minivan. Let's buy some dogs from Gumtree, rename them Charlie and Bowie, and then try hard to become the favourite. Let's make a Sunday roast and you can call your mum while I play music to our dogs. They lie there embarrassed of their new dad. And yeah, I'd have to agree that you don't know love can go so deep, but on the way down there's just so much sadness and feeling guilty. If you just let me speak, I could tell you some simple rules about harmony. Starts with listening and ends with getting a good night's sleep. I need some words with you to snap me from my awful mood. I'm hanging on to everything and I know it makes me angry. I just need to lie here and rest my eyes. I just need to lie here with the dogs for a while.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back again for another serving of Simsational TV here tonight. And we're back with GT Club's Formula 3, should I say, Championship. It's round 7 this evening. And I'm just going to jump out of the server for now because I think we're pretty close to a qualifying session. We'll keep an eye on that in the background. But shaping up to be a pretty good event so far. We've got only 10 that have signed up for tonight's competition. We may get a few more, but we're just waiting to see how it all turns out. It's been a couple of weeks. I missed last week's event, but there's a couple of more speedy guys that have entered to give my co-commentator, Zach O'Reilly, who is racing in this championship, a bit of curry and a bit of hurry up, hopefully. So we'll see how he fares with a couple of fast guys up his tailpipe, so to speak. We're just waiting for that server to tick over. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the track map for today. We are at Imola. It is round 7, ladies and gentlemen. 19 turns at this sensational or simsational track, should I say. One of the world's most famous circuits up there in Italy. 4.9 Ks, 19 turns. Tonight's schedule will be as follows. It'll be a 15-minute qualifying session followed by a 40-minute feature race, ladies and gentlemen. And following that will be a 20-minute super sprint with a reverse top 10. So that will always shape up to be action-packed. Thank you very much. Just waiting on that server to kick over, but it's hasn't done it yet. So what else have we got? We got some standings here, ladies and gentlemen, from round 6 onwards. Dravelmere still at the top on 209 points. Specky K just shy on 190. Then there's a fair gap back to Eric on 119, and Zach O'Reilly, my co-commentator, there in 4th after he had an absolute shocker last time I called the race. Where were we at? Nürburgring, I believe. And, he was having a few issues there, technical and otherwise. Risky Pierce there in fifth and 96 points. Nick Mello behind him on 79. Not far behind is Harley Marshall on 75. Matt Double, 74. You can't get any closer than that. Nitro Neil, 66. Will not be racing tonight. I saw him comment in the Discord. So, good luck to Nitro. He's got better things on tonight. Half your luck. It is Friday night, ladies and gentlemen, here on Sensational TV. So no ill towards anyone that has anything better to do on a Friday night. I'm sure everyone does. Ty and Bowman there in 10th position, 58 points with Sky Fox, Claypole, Hughes, Marshall, Sprinkler, Scowen, T-Rev, or Trev, we call him, Oshie, Klenoka, and 67 Firebird, should I say, making out the top 20 drivers here tonight. It's shaping up to be a good one. There's one driver in particular which, if you've been around the channel in any capacity, you'll know Alex McEwen. He's a speedy contender. So he's out there tonight. I saw him doing some laps earlier in the server. So he's ready and rip-roaring. Ready to go. Ready to give Zach some curry up the front with Dravelmere as well. Tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, still waiting for that server to come up. They might be having a briefing perhaps, but anyone out there in Discord land at the moment, or YouTube land, should I say, how are we liking the new the Sensational studio? We've got onto the old business loan and we've hired out a studio, and it's quite nice in here. I have to admit, we might have to turn the aircon up a little bit because it's going to get hot in here tonight with GT Clubs Esports Formula 3 Championship coming up very shortly. Still waiting on that server to tick over, so we've just got to bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. We've got coming up on the channel actually next week is the final round of Wednesday Cup over at AK Racing. So that is shaping up to be an absolute cracker with close to 40 drivers turning up each and every week. Absolutely fantastic to see that many interested sim racers during a midweek series like the Wednesday Cup. Must say it is well run over there at AK Racing, and they are into their 12th season or more there at Wednesday Cup, so all the bugs have been ironed out for the most part. So you get some good clean racing, you also get some silly stuff, but it is a casual series, so if you're out there and want to get involved in a nice casual series, go and check that out. If you want to get involved in the Formula 3s, which we will be seeing shortly tonight, once this bloody server comes up, I don't know what they're doing over there at GT Club, but I'll tell you what, you will be the first to know when it goes up. But if you want to get involved in them, the link is in the description below. Also a link for the, also a link for the Patreon here at Sensational TV, as we're on the hunt for 500 subscribers here on the channel and at YouTube. So I think we're at roughly 300 at the moment. So we're getting there. We're over halfway. It's exciting stuff. But I'll tell you what, I think we might be close, ladies and gentlemen, to have this qualifying session up and running. So we're going to flick it over and take a quick break here on Sensational TV. So as always, get your drinks ready and get your packet of bickies beside you for some action-packed racing coming up very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back soon.
See
those eyes like sea waves, deep blue, green, full of mystery, pulling me under as I lose control. The days were dark when I met you, but you gave me hope like I never knew. I didn't know it could be like this. Everybody else is looking for somebody, but I found you. And nobody else can tell me that this thing will soon be over. It's inevitable that we're unbreakable. Our love is stronger than a rainstorm. We fight till we break, then we hold on. Nothing is wilder than you and me. Now no one can say heartbreak is fate, love is the rules. 'Cause we found.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, we're just loading into the server as we speak. This is the last week, mind you, that I'm on crappy internet. Can you believe it? Next week, I will be up and running with some actual decent upload speeds. So we're going to get into this server a lot quicker, hopefully. Just having some troubles getting into this server tonight for some reason. Very slow on the uptake, as you can see down the bottom left-hand corner of my screen here to my left. Just taking forever. But we will get there in the end, ladies and gentlemen. There's I can see there's at least 9 out there on the track at the moment. We are almost ready, ladies and gentlemen, to get down to the track and get down their trackside, and we'll be able to taste the air. Here we go. It looks like Zach O'Reilly is the first man out on track, so we're going to get down on the trackside to see what is happening out there. This is his outlap, mind you, ladies and gentlemen. We are 14 minutes and 20 seconds to go in this qualifying session. So get your predictions in. Who is going to take the top spot here tonight? We've got Zach O'Reilly out there in the sensational TV. Oh, he's just had a bit of a gutser there, letting Mello go through on the inside where he rightfully deserves to be. Usually Mello, the first man out on track in whichever series he partakes in, mind you. So he is he's out there now in front. So, but we're going to stick with Zach O'Reilly and see how he can get those tyres warmed up. As you can see, he's just doing a little bit of weaving, getting those tyres in the correct window for a lightning hot lap. He was the man to beat in practice too, mind you, ladies and gents. I think he did a 129, if I'm not mistaken, or a 130. Either of those is pretty quick around here in a Formula 3 car. So that looks like that was Pierce, I think, just pulling over to the side, trying to find a bit of track space. But what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to right on board with Zach O'Reilly as he completes his hot lap. Tell me how the volume levels are out there in YouTube land if you're in chat and watching the stream, as it's a bit hard to judge here. But here comes Zach O'Reilly down into turn. This is actually turn 2, I think. 2 and 3 and 4. Really nicely done there. Just probably a little bit wider than he wants to be on this lap, but it's his first go around, so this is a banker lap. Just wants to set something that's half competitive, that he can just sort of take the pressure off himself to really put the hammer down in the latter stages of this qualifying. So he's just, again, a little bit wider than he probably wanted to be there in the left-hand hairpin. This is a tricky little section here, because if you run too far, just too far there, you'll either end up in the kitty litter on the outside, and that's pretty much ruins your lap anyway. And this little section here is probably the most fun you can have in sim racing. Just that downhill, braking to your right. Not even braking in a straight line. It's very difficult to do. And as you can see, he clatters over the sausage curbs. Very nicely done there indeed. I'll tell you what, in these cars, they do not like going over sausage curbs. These are very hard-sprung race cars, so they do not enjoy doing anything like that. But here we go. We've got Guy Duff in the chat. Evening, Mr. Munro. Evening, Mr. Duff. Right back at you. We're just joining Zach O'Reilly on his first hot lap out here at Imola, and he sets a 1:30.8. That is pretty quick, if you don't mind. That's going to take some beating as well. The next one over the line is Risky Pierce, who gets himself a 1:32.5. So we're just going to follow him around and see if he can improve on that on his second time around. Watch out for number 0, a Bath car. Geez, that could be me. I might have to get out there and do a little lap in the old Fiat 500. I wonder if it can keep up with these things at any point of the circuit. Probably not. Maybe only in the grass. So the tyres might have a little bit more tread on them. Who knows? But Risky Pierce now turning up the hill. There's a slow-moving vehicle up the front there. I don't know who that is. That is Zach O'Reilly, just letting Pierce through. Doesn't want to give him any suck. I think that's a strategic move there from Zach. Very wise old fox on the racetrack. He knows he's got that pink Donut King Formula 3 car behind him. Oh, there he goes. Risky has looped it into the fence. That's going to hurt. He will have to go back to the pits to get that damage repaired. That's what I'm trying to say. Get the damage repaired and go back out again. They've got plenty of time. 10 minutes and 24 seconds to go now. And we switch over to Risky's teammate here, Mr. James Claypole, who has gone purple in the first sector, if you don't mind. He's dropped 3/10 in the middle there to Zach O'Reilly as well. So this might be a pretty handy lap anyway from Claypole if he can put it all together. Let's see what happens when he crosses the line. I suspect he will go up a position. No, he does not. That is a 1:32.5. So just outside his personal best, actually, by, what's that, 300ths. That I think that's an official bees dig here on the channel. Absolutely. But we're right on board with James Claypole for the rest of this lap, just to see the wheel work and how he goes. Look, he's just smashed that first sector again. 2/10 clear. I've got a feeling it's going to be one of those nights, ladies and gentlemen, with the old commentator's curse coming back to haunt these drivers here at Imola. They had a week off last week. I couldn't make the stream. But now they're back, and now they've got more than just the I guess the road and the tyres and the wheels. They've got more variables to think about. There's one of the major ones, and he's sitting up in the commentary box right now, just handing out curses left, right, and centre. Travelmere looking racy as well. He's posted a 1:31.2, which is pretty quick, but this is an outlap, so he's just going to be out there winding his tyres up to get them in the correct order. Here is the next man on track, Alex McEwen. He has also gone purple in the first sector, mind you. Here he goes, clatters over these curbs. You see these top drivers, they really know how to attack the curbs in these cars. As I said earlier, not an easy feat by any means. He's on track for an improvement as well, ladies and gents. So this will put him up into third, I think, for the time being. Unless he could pull out something. He's 3/10 up on his personal best. Oh, just dropped a little bit coming out of that turn. So he's about 2.8 tenths up on his personal best. Looking for a 1:31 flat. That will put him up into the into third position. Still the second row. But we'll ride on board and see how he can attack this first half of the circuit, because Alex, oh, geez, a lot of oversteer. That is going to cost him. So that might be, that might almost be it for that lap. He is still on for an improvement, mind you. Just about shy of a 10th down, but not too far off it. Really on the ragged edge. Look at that. A lot of oversteer there for Alex McEwen. Really wrangling that Formula 3 car around this circuit. It's one of those old school circuits where you really have to wrangle it. You got to have your man hands on and grip that wheel, grip it and rip it, as the great golfer once said, Mr. John Daly. What an absolute peak of male sport specimens there, or any kind of specimen, to be fair. But Alex McEwen just taking it easy now. I think he's going to just try and cool his tyres down and have another go, as he was 4/10 down in both sectors there. Whoa, geez, he was really struggling with a bit of oversteer. Mid-corner is Alex. I think he's just chucking it in, maybe getting off the brakes a little bit too hastily. with these downforce cars, you've got to be really smooth with your inputs, especially coming off the brakes, because that will upset the aero balance of these cars, and anything can happen, especially if he's out there on the medium tyre, as they were talking in the Discord earlier about how the tyres really heat up around here. And in true RSS fashion, once the tyres get a little bit too hot, they start to become very much a sponge, and they just want to slide around all over that racetrack. So Alex McEwen he's 2/10 down on his personal best, so he's really attacking this. He's got 6 minutes to go, but we're going to jump on board with Nathan Hughes. He's just going slowly down the main straight there. I wonder what's happening there. So maybe this is an outlap. He's just getting out of the way of some other drivers. We'll see how the sprinkler's going. You certainly got me moist up here in the commentary box. I don't know about any of you watching at home. I know Guy Duff is just as moist as they come, especially when the sprinkler's out there on circuit. Tell you what, I haven't seen bloody Reggie around the traps for a while. Duffy? Might have to send him a DM and see if he's still alive. Might just be working too hard over there in the land of the long white cloud. Australia's favourite Kiwi he was. Gee whiz. Anyway, enough of that. Let's see how Sprinkler attacks it with the onboard camera here of the T-Cam. A beautiful view of how these drivers really use the inputs to wrangle these cars around this circuit. He comes up the hill here. This is one of those turns. It's kind of blind until you get to the top there. You got to pick your braking marker, chuck it in. I think he's left a little bit of time there out on the table. As you can see the lines, he's just not using all the track. But that's okay. As the sprinkler warms up and the wetness levels start to get to peak, I'm sure he'll use a little bit more. As you can see, the sprinkler just avoiding the curbs in that section, as we've seen a couple of the other drivers really attack the curbs, which is counterintuitive. As I've said, these cars do not enjoy being chucked over the sausages, but whoa, there we go. Poor old Sprinkler, he's Kamagutsu there on the final turn. Oi, and he's looped it in the pit lane. Oh, mate, I'm going to get off you now because it's all just getting worse for you. Josh, in the number 66. What livery he's got here? Oh, he's sporting the Audi 66. A very nice looking livery there. I like the colour. We got Adidas. We got AMD. What's that? We got some Tag Heuer backwards. If you can afford one of those watches, gee whiz, you could be driving a real Formula 3 car around this circuit. But we've got 3 minutes 45 seconds to go in this qualifying session. Can anyone catch Zach O'Reilly? I'll tell you what, he is out there, and he's got himself a 1:30.3. That is pretty quick. We're looking back, and the man we might put our money on to make some inroads here is the man himself, Mr. Dravelmere. He's currently on an outlap again, so he's coming in. This might be his last run with 3 minutes and 18 seconds to go in this session. Oh, he's just gone. He's just lost it. Gee whiz. The pressure's on here, ladies and gentlemen. Zach O'Reilly, my co-commentator, is out there just putting the pressure on these guys, and they're all feeling it. Nick Mello, the reigning Wednesday Cup champion over there at AK Racing, has come to try his hand at a bit of downforce racing here over at we're at GT Club tonight. The two leagues are quite friendly with each other. We share a lot of drivers, a fair bit of cross-contamination there between the leagues, could say. But Nick Mello looking pretty tidy here in the first sector. Oh, wow. As soon as I say it, he's off into the rocks. It's going to be one of those nights, ladies and gentlemen. Who do you want me to commentate Curse next? It's got to be Hughesy. Let's go, Mr. 85. Here he comes down into the second last turn. Looks very good there too. That's exactly how he wants to do it. G'day, Heather. You're cheering on your boy here, Nathan. He's about to cross the line here for qualifying. What is he got in the bank here? This is that was just an outlap. So here we go, riding on board. This is probably his second last bite of this cherry tonight. If he wants to make inroads up the timing tower, you can see that he's got his concentration face on, has Hughesy, and he's gone that first sector pretty nicely. He's only 1/10 behind his personal best, so he wants to get a wriggle on if he wants to get up that timing tower. Oh, geez, really on the ragged edge at the moment, pushing it to the limit. But there is no other way that Hughesy drives it. It's either on the limit or it's in the fence. Hopefully it's not the latter tonight. Let's get it on the limit. He is 5/10 down from his personal best. That's a shocking start to this lap. Hopefully he can pull it together here in the second sector. See how he goes. That's a nice line, probably. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Shooting it up the hill here again. We've got a minute to go. This will be his second last lap. Ladies and gentlemen, can he improve? He's actually down by another 7/10 now. So this lap is not when it's going to happen. He's going to have to go back to the drawing board and really think about pushing hard in this in this last lap that he's about to go onto. Who haven't we looked at tonight, ladies and gentlemen? Let's go and check on Dravelmere and see how he's travelling, because he is now on another hot lap. Or is he still on I think he might be still on that out lap, because he did come a gutser, come a cropper, as they say in the biz. Came a cropper there. He's got 25 seconds to make it down to the start finish line. I don't know if he's going to make it. I don't think he's going to make it, viewers. He's got 10 seconds. He's certainly not going to make it. There's no chance. That's the end of Dravelmere's run here tonight. I'm pretty sure he's not on a hot lap, because we did see him bin it just a few moments earlier. Yeah, there's the checkered flag, and he comes into the pits as well, as that's Mello behind him. Check how McEwen's going. He's half a second down in the first sector as well. No one wants this. Gee whiz, he's the well, actually, McEwen is on a personal best, but not by much. He might dip into the high 130s, but geez, I tell you what, I don't think he's going to. Let's see how Hughes is travelling. He's going slowly, so he's had enough. Oop. And he's looped it there at the top of the hill. Just pushing all or nothing there, Hughes. He just couldn't get it done in the time being, but that's all right. Qualifying is not the be-all and end-all. It just gives you a bit of a better shot in the race. But being a 40-minute race, it's all about tactics, I think, with the two tyre compounds that they are running, or at least two usable compounds. I think there is a soft tyre, but it's only good for about 4 corners before it overheats. So you'll see everyone using the mediums and the hards in these upcoming races. Of which we'll check out the track map once more. There it is there, ladies and gentlemen. It is 19 turns, 4.9 kilometres in length. So the next race is race 1, and it is 40 minutes long. Plenty of time to make up for any kind of mistakes made in qualifying. But I tell you what, you want to just keep the car straight. It'll be another one of those things where it is a test of endurance, a test of whether you could, a test of car control, really. See if you can keep it on the black stuff for 40 minutes. And I tell you what, if you can do that, you'll go a long way towards winning the race. Good old saying I like to say is that if you can get your car over the line first, you'll go a long way towards winning the race. So, words to live by there, ladies and gents. Absolute rubbish as usual here in the sensational commentary box here on a Friday night. The catering here in Italy is absolutely fantastic. We're on a nice Italian wine as well this evening. Shout out to those guys for the free bottle. I tell you what, all the drivers are now leaving the service. So what we're going to do is we are going to check on the final standings here. Zach O'Reilly is your provisional pole sitter, and he did improve on his time as well. A 1:30.1, 7/10 behind is Dravelmere. So that's a big gap to make up. If he's 7/10 quicker each lap, say goodbye to Zach O'Reilly. Nick Mello Another 8 tenths behind as well. Actually, only, 2 and a bit tenths, 1 and a bit tenths. They're behind Javelmere, so they're pretty close. Alex McEwen in 4th, Hughes in 5th, Claypole 6th, Risky Pierce 7th, the Sprinkler in 8th, and Josh, the number 66, in 9th position. So grab your hats, put them on, tighten them up. Maybe put some socks on because it's pretty cold around the eastern seaboard at the moment. Winter is here, ladies and gentlemen, and what is also here, or not yet, is race 2, or race 1. Oh my God. We'll be back, ladies and gents. We will be back very soon with race 1. Hold on to your hats. Holy moly, it's going to be a cracker.
Testing whether I'm a replicant or a lesbian.
We're running on borrowed time and it doesn't make sense no more. It's not you, it's me, plenty of fish in the sea, oh God. But they're cliches for a reason. There's reminders every season, and I wish you weren't the reason that these cliches are being thrown at me. But if you thought for one blind second that someone would treat you better than you know one that sees any value in me, it's okay, Liana, I'm hoping you had yourself fun. 'Cause I'm stuck overthinking it. It's okay, Liana, but I'm up at 1:15. Just stuck overthinking it. So stop overthinking it. Take it on board or take it all back, it doesn't make a difference to me. It's the fact that you're gone and that you're moving on. Oh my God. you were crying. Cynical, but I'm not lying. So I can stop myself denying myself of all these stupid cliches. And you thought for one blind second it's someone would treat you better than you know one to see.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. Brent C in the chat. Who is the DJ? It went from the hardest techno song I've ever heard to a chill rock song. We've got better variety than your local Triple M station here on Simsational. Actually, a little disclaimer: all the bands you will hear on tonight's broadcast are local bands from Queensland. Doing my best out here to support the local acts. So if you enjoy any of the songs, just I always have the little Now Playing app in the bottom left, so you can look up the songs later on and enjoy them in your own time. But tell you what, we are 2 minutes and 38 seconds away from a start here in race 1. Zach O'Reilly is off pole position. There he is. And on his outside, that is Dravelmere. Behind him is Nick Mello, the number 4. Behind him is his teammate, Alex McEwen. I almost called him Alex Ferguson. We were talking before the race about that, and I've gone and done it. Alex McEwen's livery has not shown up in the server for now, but maybe that'll be fixed for race 2. We will find that out. Get your predictions in the chat, ladies and gents. It's shaping up to be a good one. It's always a bit of a battle of strategy around Imola. It's not the easiest track to overtake on. Might see a few little dives into the left-hand hairpin, maybe, in the first sector. That's a pretty good spot for it to happen. Where's another good one? Obviously, turn 1. I think that's going to be where it all happens. These cars do have DRS, mind you, so if you are within 1 second of the car in front in the DRS detection point, you will get the added speed boost of the rear wing opening up, and I think it's worth 10 k's down the end of the end of the straight into the braking zone. So it's definitely worth having. And I think that kicks in on lap 2, if I am not mistaken. So we will see the rear wing starting to open in lap 2, and whether Zach O'Reilly can get a 1 second lead on Dravelmere. But before that happens, I guess that's anyone's guess. But here we go, ladies and gents. 44 seconds to a start. I'm going to tip my co-commentator Zach O'Reilly. He's been having some PC issues as well as of late. I don't really know if you recall last round that I did call this series was the Nürburgring, and he was out to, I think it was a 12-second lead before his PC just shut down and did the whole kick you out of the server thing. Let's hope he can stay clear of any sort of technical dramas here tonight. 6 seconds to a start. We've got lights, we've got revs, we've got action coming your way with 1 second to go. Ladies and gentlemen, oh, there's a false start there from Nick Mello. He's going to have to... Oh, hang on, what's going on here? We've had a bit of a false start from everyone here, I think. We've... Well, your guess is as good as mine, ladies and gentlemen. We might see a restart. Yeah, okay. Something happened server side, and so the guys have quickly decided to regrid. So we got another 2 and a bit minutes, 2.5 minutes roughly, before we get to go for round 2. But Nick Mello certainly getting a false start off the line there. I don't know, maybe his clutch pedal playing up. I've never seen him do that before. Well, it is pretty easy to do, mind you. You want to get that jump because I think Nick Mello really wants to lead into turn one. If he can just get across his teammate as well, sit into the suck of Dravelmere there, the number 30 on the right of your screen. He might just get a little added speed boost coming in and try some sort of move into turn one, perhaps. It's what the viewers want to see at home, that's for sure. It's what we all want to see. That's what we call entertainment here in the motorsport game. One minute 47 seconds to go. Let's have a quick look at this livery that my co-commentator has thrown together. Luckily, he's a better commentator and a better driver than a livery maker, because look at that symmetry there on the front nose cone there. Absolutely beautiful. He's got it right. He's got it right in some parts, but it's nice. It's clean. It's black. It's easy. It's the only all-black car on the grid, so you know it's him when you're looking in your rearview mirrors. But I'll give you the tip. He'll be pretty unlucky if he's in anyone's rearview mirror tonight, judging on the pace that he had in not only practice but also qualifying, clearing the field by about 7/10, I think, in the end. "40 minutes of racing coming up, ladies and gentlemen. There is a mandatory pit stop and a mandatory change of tyre, or tyre compound, should I say. So we're going to just, actually what we'll do is, looks like everybody's starting on the mediums. We've got the first two starting on the mediums, Nick Mello and Alex McEwen starting on the hards. And then Sprinkler, the other man, on the hards as well. So we might see the first two just sort of skip away a little bit while those mediums are in the good grip department. And then once those hards come into play, they might just get run down near the end. But we've got 6 lights up, and let's see if we can get away to a clean start. We do. Zach O'Reilly with a very good start there as well. He's got Dravelmere just on his bum there. So Zach O'Reilly doing a bit of weaving down the main straight. Oh, look at the closing speed here from Dravelmere. He's going to have a look around the inside, maybe the outside of the next one, but just lets him go there, and Zach O'Reilly takes the lead for this one. Dravelmere has got Nick Mello all over the back of him, and Alex McEwen just sitting pretty. These three are trapped in a nice little battle here early on. Dravelmere and Nick Mello. There goes Nick Mello. He's off the track. So that gives Alex McEwen a free pass up into third position. Mind you, those two guys are on the hard tyre. And look at this. Here's Zach O'Reilly falling back into place. What is going on here? I think we have a safety car, ladies and gents. We certainly do. There might have been a bit of tomfoolery happening at the back of the field. We didn't catch it on the broadcast, but I think there is a car just catching up to the field as we speak. It might have been, obviously, a Sprinkler there at the back. Might have come a Gutser there at the start. And so we are under safety car conditions for now. And while I'm doing this, I'm just going to double check that my post-processing filter is on, which it is not. So hopefully that looks a little bit better on camera. Here for GT Club's Friday night weekly series. It's on every Friday night, ladies and gents. So if you're out there wanting to get involved in some open wheel action, this is it. I think you might only have one more round to get involved, as this is round 7 of 8. Nonetheless, you can join the action for a bit of fun, or just to get on stream and have me commentator curse you, because that's always fun as well. It's been pretty strong tonight, so we'll see if any of these guys can survive by the end. We might be gearing up for a go here. This is the final turn. Everyone is lining up behind the virtual safety car, which is Zach O'Reilly. He has control of the field at the moment. Just going to listen for those revs and see when he gets going. He's just biding his time. There he goes, and he's away, and he's actually caught Dravelmir napping as well. So DRS is enabled. All those guys are going to have it at the moment, but they're probably not going to use it under instructions from the race director. Oh, the old commentator's curse, says Rugsy. Mate, it is strong tonight. I'll give you the hot tip. Every time I give someone a rap, they're off into the grass. But Zach O'Reilly's got himself out to about a half a second lead now with Dravelmir in tow, and another half a second to Alex McEwen with his teammate closely behind him in Nick Mello. He's got about a 3/10 gap back to him with Nathan Hughes in fifth. Eric has joined the server late. We didn't see him in qualifying, but he's come in late and has just got him in time, I suppose, with Pierce all over the back of him. We're going to ride on board with Pierce in the in the bright pink donut mobile. Oh, and he goes off. Gee whiz, get the camera off him. I can't focus in on anyone at the moment. They're all going off. Sprinkler now has made up a few positions there with Specky and Claypole, I think, getting stuck into each other. Mello has dropped down through the field. He's off the track, ladies and gents. Nick Mello, look at him having a gutser there in Sector 3. That is not good for Nick Mello's chances in this race. He goes back to dead last. So he's got an absolute mammoth task on his hands tonight. But we've seen in the Wednesday Cup, it doesn't matter if he starts first or last. He's always a chance of taking the checkered flag. As look at him just giving Josh a bit of a hurry up. He might be a little bit angry as well with himself. Nick Mello, they're very disappointed with himself, I'm sure, as he's one of the guys to look out for in this series. Takes that corner and he buggers off up the road in tow and looking for the back of James Claypole. But we've had a swap for the lead here, ladies and gents. In all that, Dravelmir has overtaken Zach O'Reilly, I assume, with the aid of DRS. But look at this. O'Reilly's all over the back now. These two guys are going to go side by side here. Oh, look at that. Zach just diving it up the inside, getting that job done and getting it done nicely indeed. That's a textbook pass there at Imola. You don't see it happen in those in that turn too often anyway. But Dravelmir just keeping his nose clean, doesn't want to get involved in too much of that shenanigans early on in this race. He wants to build a bit of a gap between him and Hughes and Eric behind him. And then maybe later on in the race, he can start thinking about doing a bit of that battling. Even though it's fun, you want to get stuck in straight away. Sometimes you got to just think about the big picture and the long run. As it is a long run here tonight, it's a 40-minute race. We are only 5 minutes in. And these guys, look at that. The gap is back out to almost a second. I'm just wondering where the DRS point, detection point is. Oh, geez, look at that. It's hovering around 9/10. So at the moment, Drav will get the aid of the DRS going down the main straight. So we'll see what kind of advantage it gives you here and where he gets to open the rear wing. We'll ride on board here and see where it opens. Okay, just there. And the gap is 7/10 here. So let's see how much he makes up in the closing zone here. And look at that. You can see the pace difference already. That's down to 3/10. So that's about a 4/10 advantage down the main straight here. This could be like a good old-fashioned DRS battle coming up, ladies and gents. But he's got to hang on to the back of Zach O'Reilly here on this lap. Otherwise, that could be all she wrote. So Zach O'Reilly really just getting the head down now and trying to extend that gap out to over a second. But look at this. Drav just makes up that time in the turns. Look at that. He's got that gap back down to 6/10, back out to 7/10. So we won't watch him per tenth because it's up and down like a yo-yo at the moment. But Dravelmir is the championship leader as well, which we saw in the pre-game show. So he's not too worried about Zach O'Reilly. He's in fourth position at the moment, so he's probably thinking towards the end of this championship, as there is only one round to go after this one. Zach O'Reilly sitting in fourth position in the championship right now. So Drav doesn't want to really get too involved in any sort of shenanigans where it might just cause him to maybe find the wall or find the grass. Who's behind him in the championship? I think it is... who did we look? It was Specky K, wasn't it? So we're just going to have to, well, you know what, between races, we're going to check on the championships live standings and see where we go. But I'm pretty sure it is Specky K coming second in that championship. So Dravelmir has missed out on the DRS, or has he? No, that looks open to me. So he's managed to get himself some DRS on that second lap. So he will make up another 4/10 now into the braking zone. And O'Reilly still has more to think about with the number 30 just sitting in his rearview mirrors, giving him something to think about. But there is a change for position down the back here. That is Eric and Pierce getting around him for now. We're right on board with Eric and see what he can do. And if he can keep up with Pierce for now, because all he wants to do really, as I said earlier, this is a very hard track to make an organic overtake in. Very hard to just stay under the rear wing with the dirty air, with the aero, and all that jazz that you hear about in real life racing. It also applies here in Assetto Corsa in these Formula 3 cars. So it's best just to do what they do on TV and just stick around for the DRS and get involved in all of that goodness. But at the moment, that is teetering on a 1 second gap. There that goes. That's a 1.2 second gap now. Eric out of the DRS zone. So that is not good for him. But look behind him, and that's James Claypole lining up. Look at the ground that Claypole's made up here as well. So he is also now in the DRS zone for the guy in front, which is Eric. It's all starting to happen here about 1/4 of the way through this race. Rugsy says this is his first live sim race stream. Nice commentary. Thank you very much, Rugsy. If you like what you see, hit subscribe on the channel there. Every subscription we get goes a long way. We are on the road to 500 here at Simsational TV. So I'll be very stoked once we get there. But every subscription counts. So if you want to get involved there and show some love, do that. But here we go. Oh, look at that. Claypole was just thinking about just shoving the nose up the inside there of Eric. I think he thought better of it because he was just probably a couple of car lengths back further than what he wanted to be. But I know James Claypole, and he's probably not too much. Oh, gee whiz. There he goes. As I've said that, he's absolutely lost it. He's into the kitty litter and he's into the wall. Just a slight touch. It's not going to be too much to hamper him, but he's got a couple of cars coming up behind. That's McEwen and Josh in the number 66 Audi livery there. Claypole goes back to dead last, so he's got a big task ahead of him, mind you. Nick Mello. We're on Nick Mello watch. He's up behind the sprinkler. The wettest man in the race at the moment. I can feel the moisture starting to seep through my feet here in the commentary box. Oh, there goes a big lock up there from Sprinkler. Very nice driving from Mello to anticipate that. Sprinkler getting a fair bit of oversteer there, and Mello just avoiding it nicely. There's another car coming up behind. That's Specky K. So this is a nice old-fashioned menage a trois, and who doesn't love one of those? Here comes Specky K. He's got a nice little view of the back of Sprinkler and Mello. So he's within a half a second, should I say. So he's going to have the rear wing wide open in just a few moments. And I think that 4/10 advantage will be shining through at the end of that. So watch this. He will just slingshot past the Sprinkler here, and he will make that job done easy. Look at the pace advantage. He gets up beside, and he will be well in front by the time he gets down into T1. As you see there, just gets it parked in nicely, covers off that racing line, and he will live to fight another day. These two guys are in the same livery, which makes it quite confusing. Both number 22 as well. Look at that Sprinkler, really quick through that turn. Probably took him by surprise at how slow Specky K was on the opposite end of that turn. But he's had to just get on the anchors there before he centre punches the back of that Formula 3 car, that identical Formula 3 car in front of him. Unreal. But in all that, Mello has just chuffed off down the road. So he's in hunt of Eric. He can just see him off in the distance there. So he's just getting a little bit of a whiff of that tyre smoke that Eric has kicked up there into the chicane. So he's making up some ground as we speak. So we'll just keep an eye on him. It'll probably take him a few laps, as Mello is one of the quicker guys around here if you're new to the channel. He's the reigning champion over at AK Racing's Wednesday Cup, which is one of the other series that we commentate on here at Simsational TV. Oh, jeez, he's taking all the liberties of the track limits there, is Nick Mello. But looking up to the front of the field now. And Dravelmere is back in contention for a bit of DRS. He's only 1.1 seconds behind O'Reilly now for the lead. And if he can just stay there and maybe just push a little bit harder towards the end of this lap, get himself into DRS zone, there might be another bit of a battle here for the lead. But in saying that, we are 13 minutes into the race now. 13 of 40, mind you. It is a bit of a long race around for race 1 tonight. I guess we could call it the feature race. The second race coming up is a 20-minute affair, so half the distance. Twice the excitement, perhaps. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. But Nick Mello's made up 2 seconds on Eric in that last lap. Holy moly! Just watching on the just watching on the timing tower, he's got that gap down to half a second now. So we're going to have to switch over and see how that battle is starting to shape up. And it's starting to shape up nicely. You can see, oh, gee whiz, starting to get a little bit of server lag. And I can tell everyone out there watching now that I have just ordered myself a brand new router, brand new modem, and a brand new ISP service, which will give me excellent upload speeds. So next time I broadcast from my PC, we will have none of this happening, none of this warping that you're seeing going on the screen. That is just a bandwidth issue that I've been dealing with as of late, but you can say goodbye to that as of next stream. Mind you, here goes Nick Mello. He's just gone off the road. No, that was Eric, sorry. These guys both in similar liveries as well. So there goes Nick Mello past Eric up into the top 5, and he's got about 5 seconds gap to, who's that? Risky Pierce up in front. He's in the number 15. The Donut King livery. Look at that. That's really nice. That's delicious. As you can see the sprinkles, he's got the strawberry flavour, absolutely beautiful, and the AK Racing insignia, if you can say it, splattered all across this beautifully done livery there from Risky Pierce. It's a game of creativity here in Simland. Not only do you have to know how to drive these cars, but a lot of these guys like to express their creativity in the form of livery making. And look at this. Poor old Hughesy. Heather, if you're in the chat, he's just beached himself, mate. He is beached as he's going to have to report back to the pits, teleport back to the pits, and that is his race over. Poor old Nathan Hughes is going to have to start from the back, and he will go a lap down too because of that. Absolutely devastating for Nathan Hughes. He was up there, I think, in the championship hunt. Oh, he's just gone back to the pits again. He might even call it quits here, ladies and gents. We might see the first DNF of this race right now, but Alex McEwen is hunting down Specky K in front of him. This guy is not one to be messed with too. If you've been around the channel before, Alex McEwen is one of the guys that are considered an alien. Beached Asbro. Anyone remembers that bloody meme from, Jesus Christ, about 15 years ago? You might be as old as me then, Rugsy. We've got another DNF. Actually, Alex McEwen has just DNF'd. How's that for commentators, Curse? I told it. Oh, my God. Not only did he crash, but he has actually DNF'd. So that's a huge one here for Alex McEwen. We might see him back in the server. We might not. We'll see how we go. Older. Well, there you go. You might even remember the good old days of the 80s. Zach's PC is actually, it's holding on for now. But last time around, it just completely froze on him. He was about 13 seconds in front, and he had a massive freeze. And he had to pull the car over to the side of the track and pretty much relinquish his lead. He did battle on the rest of the race, but he said it was super laggy and pretty much undrivable for him. So all the guys in the server now just got their fingers and toes crossed for another bit of technical difficulty there coming from the O'Reilly household. He actually had a few technical issues too in practice, so the chances are he might be in a big bit of trouble here. It's 40 minutes. That's all the PC has to hold on for 40 minutes. Your guess is as good as mine out there, viewers. But we're all wishing him well there. Specky K has just got around Eric. bit slow on the uptake for the overtakes here tonight, ladies and gents. But Eric has just lost another position, and Specky K's moving up the order. He started down the back somewhere, so this is proof in the pudding of just how good you can get up the order if you can just keep the car on the black stuff. That is the most important thing at the end of the day, ladies and gents. You could be as fast as you want, but if you can't keep it on the road, you're not going to win that many races. You might get a few pole positions in quali, but they don't equate to points in a championship at all. So it all comes down to race pace and race craft. But look at that. There goes Eric straight by him. That might have been maybe a redress there from Specky K. So maybe a little bit of funny business in the first overtake as we see Specky K just moving aside and letting Eric go back to that position. So he may have gained an advantage from some untowards driving there. So we'll see how he goes. And these guys can play on. And I'll tell you what, Specky K does have the DRS, so there won't be much playing on here. Actually, there goes Eric. He's had enough. He's pulling into the pits. So is Specky K following him in. Big smoke signal there on the entry of the pit. Geez, I hope he pulled it up in time. There is a pit lane limiter here on the server. So if you are not doing 80 k's an hour by the time you cross that control line, you are done, and you will have a drive-through penalty added to either your race time or you have to serve one in the next 2 or 3 laps. So it looks like there's nothing flashing up on my screen now, so it looks like Specky K just got it pulled up in time. So both of these guys coming out on the hard tyre now, so that will be enough. That's 20 minutes to go on the hard tyre. That's plenty of life in those ones. Who's out there on the mediums? Zach O'Reilly is still out there on the mediums. He started on the medium. Dravelmere, he started on the medium. So these two yet to pit. Risky Pierce, I'm pretty sure, started on the medium as well. He is yet to pit. James Claypole started on the medium, yet to pit. It's only the guys who... it was only, Eric and Specky, and I think Sprinkler, who was also pitted. He started on the hard, so he's come back out on the medium. Oh boy, and we've got just a little bit of a lull in the race at the moment as Nick Mello just comes up behind Josh at a rate of knots too. So I think Mello has taken his pit stop. Yes, he has, because he started on the hard tyre as well as his teammate Alex McEwen. We'll see if we'll get some correspondence with Alex to see what happened there, but that looked like a good old-fashioned disconnect from me. Maybe his internet is even worse than mine tonight. So it is Friday night, remember, ladies and gents. A lot of people at home streaming stuff and watching Netflix, so it's not the greatest time to be streaming or playing online. But we're right on board with Mello as he sets up this overtake here on Josh in front of him. He's got the aid of the DRS, mind you. So he will be coming in at a rate of knots. Josh goes to the inside. It's not going to be enough because Nick Mello will just cruise around the outside, trailer park girl style, into turn 1 and gets that job done up into 5th position. Rugsy says, Specky K for the win. Okay, that's a big... well, there we go. That's a prediction in itself. He's got... he's going to have to go for the overcut. Well, he's got the undercut, sorry. He was one of the first to come in to the pits. What's he doing there? Is he just... I think he's just trying to warm those hard tyres up. You see him just doing a bit of swerving, a bit of weaving down that mini straight. I think maybe the temp is just not quite in those hard tyres yet. So I think they might just take maybe a couple of laps longer than the mediums to come up and into that optimal window of pressure and temp. But they are the slower option as well, so he won't have as much pace as he did in the first stint. But we're still waiting on our top 2 to come in and serve their pit stop. Zach O'Reilly still going, 13 laps strong on that first set of medium tyres. They must be just about shagged, I'd imagine. He'll be starting to probably think about coming into a pit stop soon. You don't want to run the risk of looping it on a set of tyres that you probably should have changed 1 lap earlier. You always want to squeeze as much as you can out of them when you're going good. His last lap was a 1:31.7, which is pretty quick. It's about a second off his qualifying lap and only 0.2 off his personal best. So he's still absolutely pushing it to the limit. He's got Travelme. You can just see in the background there. So Zach O'Reilly's probably very aware of where Dravelmere is at the moment. There's a little change for position down here as Specky K makes up another position on James Claypole. Mate, he's a mover and shaker today, is Specky K. He started at the back. He's made his way up to 6th. And I'll tell you what, there's a few guys in front of him that are yet to pit. So he might make up a couple more positions by the end of this race. That's for sure. We'll just check on with Zach O'Reilly. It looks like he's going around again for another lap. So is Dravelmere. These guys might just push it to the very end on these bloody medium tyres. I tell you what, with every turn they take on these old mediums, they're just upping the risk level of just stepping a foot wrong, you could say, and looping these cars, and that would be absolutely disastrous, should I say, for their race. But he's still pushing very hard to the limit. We'll just ride on board with him as well. We might turn the sound up and go for a lap with Zach O'Reilly with the sound of the F3s. Very smooth stuff indeed. He's we call him the egg out the back because he's absolutely smooth out there, and he goes around again. That's 15 laps on these absolutely shagged set of medium tyres. They are the softer of the two compounds, and we did miss an overtake as well. I'm absolutely on fire in that department, but that is Mello up into 3rd. He was last at one point, remember, viewers. He had a bit of a stack in the first couple of laps. So he's... what a comeback drive from him. Oh, geez, Risky Pierce. Getting a bit risky with that sausage curb there. As I've explained before, these cars very tightly sprung. You don't want to be running over the curbs like that. You could just get spat out the other side. Anything is possible if you hit the curb that hard. I think we saw it in Monza a few years ago in the F3s. They had the introduction of the sausage curbs on the outside. I think it might have been the Curva Grande or the Parabolica, and it sent that F3 car absolutely flying up into the air. You can find that footage on YouTube. It's absolutely unreal. The driver was not seriously injured as well, thank God. But yeah, just case in point that these cars don't really like sausage curbs or Verstappen curbs. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you can see on your screen what a disaster. Zach O'Reilly has come into the pits, but he hasn't hit the mark of the 80k speed limit on the control line, so he is going to have to take a scenic route through the bloody pit lane, and that is a drive-through penalty for Zach O'Reilly. He's just let this absolute win of his slip through his fingers, and he will be very disappointed in himself with that. Dravelmere, in the meantime, has just inherited the lead of the race. I'm not too sure if he knows if Zach O'Reilly has a penalty there for speeding into the pits, but I'm sure he'll get the surprise of his life when he comes into pit and there is no Zach O'Reilly anywhere around him, because I'll tell you what, poor old O'Reilly's going to have to go through the pit lane again. Oh boy. Tell you what, there's a big gap to Mello as well. He's almost a minute behind those two. They are well out in front. It was an Aussie driver, says the Harmonator there in chat. It was like a Hot Wheels car. It flung up into the fencing. I think they got rid of the sausage curbs there promptly afterwards, and fair enough. Just the kitty litter, the gravel is all you need. Just put it closer to the track. If you don't want people cutting the track, just put gravel there. You know, it's less dangerous. It just pulls them up, slows them down, and that'd be done with it. No need to get dangerous with these crazy sausage curbs. But, you You know, the FIA always trying to reinvent the wheel. The wheels have already been invented. Speaking of which, these wheels are humming along. It's Nick Mello. He's out here doing qualifying laps, trying to catch up to Zach O'Reilly, who's about to probably serve his drive-through here. Yep. And he's going to want to get that slowed down to 80 Ks there before the pit line. And I think he's done that successfully. So we're going to see where he comes out. And we'll check on Mello because he's the next man on track. He might... I don't know if he's along far enough to really worry O'Reilly by the time he gets out. Yeah, look, you can see he's almost to the end of the pit lane already. And no Mello in sight. He's just coming around the penultimate turn now. Zach O'Reilly's drive-through has been taken, as you can see on the screen there in bright pink. Travelmere, he's got 10 minutes just to hold on. He is this championship leader, and that is why, ladies and gentlemen, he is mistake-free. They call him the Iceman because he drives ice cold. He's mistake-free. If you're a Val Kilmer fan, you might get that reference. Here we go. Oh, boy. Talk about the 80s. Tom Cruise. Get down. Risky Pierce, we'll see how he's going. He's got 3 seconds to Mello up the street there. You can see him just turning in. And so we'll get an idea of what Risky can see. He can see the back of Mello, and that always gives you a little bit of encouragement as a driver. I'll give you the tip. If you you rely on your pace, you start to get a little bit closer. I got the need for speed. That's right, Hughesy. Speaking of which, what happened to you out there? I saw you got bogged in the kitty litter, but you'll be back for race 2, he says. Yep, fair enough. Well, hopefully you've got the need for speed in race 2. It is a reverse top 10, so I'll tell you what, if you get out there now and do a couple of laps, you will be on pole for race 2. Little tip there. If not, if you don't finish this race, you'll be starting at the back anyway. So jump in for the last couple of minutes and you'll find yourself on pole position there, Hughesy. Put the brakes on and they'll fly right by. Man, everyone knows it. Ah, what a film. Highway to the danger zone. Ba, 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 ba. Get right in. All right, that's enough of that, ladies and gentlemen. No one wants to hear me singing. She'll be right. Doesn't want to go off pole. Hughesy's had enough. Bit of a lull in the race here, ladies and gents. We've got 9 minutes to go, and the closest battle on track is the one we're looking at. It's more like a bit of a time battle. So we'll have Mello. He'll be checking his relative each time he crosses the line. And he'll be checking to see how fast Risky Pierce is making moves on him, if he is indeed at all. Risky's last lap was a 1:33.6, and Mello's was a 1:33.6. So both of those guys matching each other in the lap times department. So there's not much doing there for those guys. Zach O'Reilly, however, his last lap was a 1:42 because he had to go through the pits. Man, look at that, just backing it in. Mr. Drifter getting the rear wheels cooking there. My co-commentator and good friend Zach O'Reilly out there for the Sensational Motorsport, number 35. Sprinkler now actually has got Eric in his sights. He's got that gap down to about 2 seconds. It is the closest battle on track here, ladies and gents. Any other good movies from the 80s, chat? Give us your suggestions. I'll do my best impersonation of any of those. Oh, God. You know you're struggling for content when that's happening. Hopefully Sprinkler's going to just moisten up the joint here and get up behind Eric. And let's make some battles for the viewers at home. They want to see some action. Yeah, absolutely, Rugsy. The link for the Discord here for GT Club is down in the description. So if you want to get involved, they race every Friday night. I'll just check to see which track they're at next week. As we're starting to get a bit of a heat up battle here on track. We've got Sprinkler, who is doing his best to stop the heat. He's got Eric right in his sights there. And this is shaping up to be the battle to end the race here. We've got 7 minutes to go in race 1. I'll tell you what, 40 minutes goes pretty quick when most of the time there is something to look at. Hellraiser. I don't think I've seen that one. Who's in that? I'll have to look all these things up. Actually, that's what I was looking up. What the next round is at GT Club is... Let's have a look. Bear with me, viewers. Oh, good old Munro bandwidth. It's not letting me look at anything because I'm streaming right now, and that's pretty much as you can get. So there's Sprinkler here on the back of poor old Specky K. What's happened to him? He's dropped down the order for the time being. He must have had to go through the pit lane again. But here goes Sprinkler. He's going to make a move on Specky K here into turn 1. Oh, slides up the inside. Gets that job done using the outside curbing very nicely. But Specky K wants to return serve here as well. And look at him right up the arse of the Sprinkler, and he's going to have a look into turn. Oh, look at that. Oh, they've come together. They've collided. The two matching liveries have spun each other out into the kitty litter, and that's with 5 minutes to go in this race, and both of those guys are now going to have to go back to the drawing board. Oh, what devastation there from those guys. I think it was just Sprinkler getting a bit too overzealous on the brakes there and just absolutely poleaxing poor old Specky K from behind, and they both go pirouetting off into the kitty litter. Oh, gee whiz, there might be a little bit of damage on those cars as well, but they will have to limp around for the next 5 minutes to get to the finish. Oh boy. The one thing they can get out of it is they're going to be off either the front row or the second row on the reverse grid race that is coming up after this one. It's a 20-minute affair, is race 2. So you haven't got that much time to make up for the reverse grid, which is good. It adds a bit of action, but it also adds a little bit of, desperation from the drivers starting from the back. They feel like they have to go for every gap that arises. It's all good for us. Action is action. That's right. That's right, Rugsy. The more action we get, the better. So, reverse grids are great. I used to hate them when I was racing, but I've come to find a newfound appreciation of all things reverse grid related. Oh, goodness me. Sprinkler now has not let go of the back of Specky K. He centre punched him last time around going through this section, so he's probably going to have to be a little bit more careful this time. And he does so. So he's just happy to sit back there. I don't know if he wants to really ruffle the feathers of Specky K any further after that after that bit of driving earlier. And he might be happy just to sit there as well, as that means he gets to start off the front row for the next race with Alex McEwen and Nathan Hughes, both DNFs in this race. No, that's all right. I'll tell you what, a lot of people are always hesitant to join a league because they're new to it. But I tell you what, the best way to get better is to just chuck yourself in head first. You can do as many hot laps as you want outside of the league, but it's not really going to prepare you for wheel-to-wheel racing. And the AI in this game isn't that great anyway, so it's not going to teach you much. But just getting in there head first and having a crack. It's the best way to improve. And you'll find that every round you will improve, especially with these cars. They're quite a lot of fun. They are on the more difficult side. They are on the more difficult side, as I said, but they will take a little bit of getting used to. but I'm not too sure what the setup options are. I think they might be a fixed setup, so you won't have to go tinkering too much in the setup department. And if you can, just load up full aero. That's always a good option. Get the wings fully working, all the aero on there, a high downforce package, and that makes these cars a lot easier to drive. Oh, there we go. Sprinkler just having a bit of a moment at the top of the hill there. Oh, gee whiz. And that will promote Specky K back up into 7th position. He'll be happy with that. Excuse me. Claypole just doing a personal best there at the end of the race at 1:32.7. Not too bad. 2 minutes to go, though. Travelmere has not set a foot wrong. All race, absolutely. He's been doing a fantastic job. He didn't let Zach O'Reilly get too far ahead. And you can see he's just been taking it easy because look at the gap behind there to Zach O'Reilly at the moment. It's only 5 seconds. And I think after his drive-through penalty, it was around the 11, 12 second mark. So Zach O'Reilly pushing to the limit, doing low 131s or mid-31s, which is pretty quick. And Travelmere just happy to sit in the mid to high 32s at the moment. And get himself over the line. Rugsy says, learn to drive, then set up. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Or you can learn them both at the same time. It's good to know what your driving style suits in the way of setup. Because there's sort of two ways you can think about it. You've got the front and the rear. Now, this is the way I always used to think about it. You can either have a soft front and a stiff rear, or the opposite. Soft rear, stiff front. And the softer of the two gives you the grip balance. So let's say you have a softer front end in terms of springs and anti-roll bars. That will give you more grip to the front tyres. So you're going to be always just battling a bit of oversteer, using the slip angle to get yourself around the corners. And you've got to be really gentle on the throttle. That's how I used to like setting up my cars. Really soft front end, really stiff rear. And using pretty much the right foot to steer the things. Or you could go the opposite and have like a more of an understeery setup, which is, I guess, the front end being more stiff than the rear. So stiffer anti-roll bars, stiffer springs, stiffer dampers and all that. And a bit more power to play with on the right foot. You can really get stuck in and not oversteer too much out of the corners. It's a safe way to go about it, but I don't think it's the quickest way. But Travelmere does cross the line to win in race one. I thought he might have gone around for one more time there, but there you go. Our race one winner is Travelmere. He is the championship leader. There's Zach O'Reilly, just lamenting the fact that he had to do that penalty there at the end. Hughesy likes a stiff front. Interesting. But as I said, that it just depends on your driving style. There are many ways to skin the same cat when it comes to setup. So don't listen to anyone. Just find what works for you and stick with it. Don't go changing anything too drastically, because that's when you start to chase it. You're chasing the setup. You don't want that. You want it to come to you. Travelmere is your winner in race one, ladies and gentlemen. Zach O'Reilly will take the second position on the podium. Nick Mello, third. Brandon Pierce in fourth position. James Claypole in fifth. Eric crosses the line now in sixth position with Specky K just a little bit down the road. I think he got a little bit unlucky in that race. Watch out for him in the next one. Sprinkler now rounding the final turn to cross the line in eighth position. And Josh has finished already there in ninth. That was a cracking race, really, for a 9-car field in the end. We did have a couple of DNFs, but we will have at least one extra for the next one. That will be Hughesy. He said he'll be back for the next one. I don't know what Alex McEwen's doing. I think he's battling some connection issues, but we'll see what happens there. Ladies and gents, that was the conclusion of race 1. Here we are at Imola. Beautiful place in the world. I think my brother will be here in a couple of weeks. He sets off to his Euro holiday. He just told me today he's booked a lap at the Nürburgring with a Porsche 911 GT3 car. So I'm highly jealous of that. So hopefully he gets what do they call it? A GoPro video or something of that. I just want to see his face when that thing hits bloody 270 k's an hour or whatever they get up to. It's good fun. But I tell you what, yeah, Driver 61, he is the man. I recommend him to everyone. He's got 2 channels. He's got a sim racing one and a real life racing one. Watch both because they're both pertinent information that can be translated to the sim world anyway. But here we are. That's the end of race 1, ladies and gents. Stick around because we're going to be back after a few minutes with race 2. So go and fill up your drinks. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the toilet, fill up my drinks, get another couple of bickies to see me through the next round. Excuse me. And we'll be back after a short break.
Close enough has been in my eye. Set the sun to never rise, and with my love, it's no surprise. Gotta rock in a hill every day now for the rest of my life. Like I need another new reminder. Give me something that will take me higher. My head is like a dusty fire. Give me something good, I wanna make some fucking lemonade.
Oh, we're back here, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the sensational studio, just waiting for the server to tick over and let us in. Knock, knock, knock. Let us in the server, ladies and gentlemen. We're in the brand new sensational TV studio. What a bang up of technology we are here in 2024. Oh boy, oh boy. It's good fun. Got a couple of little die-cast cars here. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I'm not even going to try. Good Lord. Practice is just finished on the server. They do a little 2-minute practice session before they count down. Here we go. Nice little view of the pit lane there. So we'll just wait until they are all out on track and they are gridded up and ready for round 7, race 2. And it is a 20-minute sprint. 20-minute sprint to the line. There we go. That's a pretty good view there. That's so Alex McEwen there off the front row. It is. He's got back in the server. He must have finished off the race to get himself right there, ready to go. So that's unbelievable. You know what? I might just see if my co-commentator wants to join me for the rest of this race. I don't think he's racing. He was meant to go to the footy, but I think his mate has left him high and dry. So we might be able to just get him snuck in here. Just doing a little bit of behind-the-scenes work, ladies and gents. Bear with me. I think he's gone. Okay, never mind that. We've got 2 minutes till we count down. Oh, don't tell me. I feel like I'm getting sick again. It's been a never-ending cycle in this house. Winter's great, isn't it? Oh, my goodness. Off the front row, we've got Alex McEwen. Good luck catching him out there, ladies and gents. Josh is next to him in the number 66 aqua green livery. Beautiful colour, that. Sprinkler behind him with Specky K sitting in 4th position. Eric in 5th, Claypole in 6th, Risky Pierce in 7th, and Nick Mello in 8th. Travelmere, excuse me, is all the way down the back there. You can see his car all the way in the top left of that screen there. It's quite a ways down, but just keep an eye on him. He is the guy. He's the man. He is the championship leader and race 1 winner. So certainly keep an eye out for him. Excuse me, ladies and gents. I feel like I am getting sick. The old frog in the throat is back. So I'll call the action carefully. Let's just say that. I won't wear out my voice just yet. As we count down to a race start, we've got 35 seconds to go now. And we might just disappear out of the studio and head down to trackside to hear the revs, hear the engines, smell the fumes, get right amongst it here for the start of this race. That's a better view, ladies and gents. 17 seconds. I can start to hear the revs start to kick up here. The lights are up on the screen. The drivers are poised. Who's going to win this one? My money, I'm going to say, oh, gee whiz, I reckon Alex McEwen might just be the man to get right out there from the start. But they're off and racing. There we go. And Alex McEwen gets a cracking start there. You can see the two number 22s, that's Specky K and Sprinkler, both getting stuck into each other there. I'm not too sure which is which, as they are both in the same car. But Alex McEwen, just almost getting outbroken there by Josh on the outside. There's a bit of smoke happening in the back there. That is, we're going to ride on board here with Specky K looking behind him. That's Eric. Sprinkler behind him. Mello, Claypole, Travelmere just getting up on the inside of Pierce in the background there as well. We're right on board with these guys. There goes Travelmere up the inside of Pierce, just getting pushed wide a little bit, but those guys are banging wheels as they go up the hill to the left-hander, to the what is it, a hairpin. Goodness me, Travelmere and Pierce both side by side at the moment. Look at that, an actual cigarette paper between both of them. We'll get a little bit more game sound there for you, Zach O'Reilly, as we're right on board with Risky Pierce and just see what kind of actions he can make towards the championship leader in front of him. But it's going to be a hard task for him just holding on to the back of Dravelmere as we speak. But here we go. Eric is right up behind Specky K. These guys had a nice little battle in race 1 as well, as we saw. Look at Eric just avoiding those curbs like the absolute plague. And he's lost about 4/10 on Specky K in front, who finds himself in a nice little battle with Josh. He goes to the outside. Josh goes defensive, but just can't do anything there. Oh, look at that. Specky K locking him right up and puts Josh on the inside with nowhere to go, almost shutting the door on him. Oh, gee whiz. And he's a bit of a cork in the bottle here as well as Specky K. We can look behind here and just see we've got Josh, and that is, I think, Mello on the outside of him, is it? No, that's Eric with Sprinkler behind, and that's Mello in the very background. But these guys are going 3 wide. Oh my God, that's Eric off the road. Gee whiz. Smoke screens there from Josh as well. Holy moly, it's all happening in that little battle group behind. Oh, there goes someone off the road. Who is that? James Claypole having a gutser again. Poor old the Iron Rod, as they call him here in Sensational Land. Gee whiz. Sprinkler and Josh getting stuck into each other as well as we joined both of those guys getting back onto the circuit. I don't know what happened in the earlier parts of that, but I don't want any part of it. Here goes Josh, a Sprinkler, defending from Nick Mello. That's a hard task at the best of times, but Mello just getting in all sorts of weird positions there behind, and he's dropped a few tenths. So that's the end of that little battle for now. Dravelmere, though, just looking up the inside of Husey. He's not going to make it work just yet, but he'll have the advantage of DRS if he can stay within that 1 second, what do you call it? The 1 second advantage line, I suppose, the DRS detection line down the bottom of this hill. He will have the DRS for the front straight, and as we saw in race 1, it's about a 4/10 advantage down the straight alone. So very strong with the DRS around this circuit. And I'm sure all these drivers know that by now, so they're happy just to sit in the tow and wait for this little board, as you see on the left there. That's the DRS open, and here goes Dravelmere. You'll see the ground he makes up on Hughes at the moment. He pulls to the inside. Hughes knows there's nothing he can do, and Dravelmere just goes whizzing by down into turn 1. That's another position done for Dravelmere as he hunts for 2 races in a row for the victory. Can he get it done? Everyone in chat, there goes Hughes just off the road there. Manages to gather it up before he hit the fence, so he will live to fight another day. Gee whiz, but how far can Dravelmere make it up in 16 minutes? Geez, that first 4 minutes has gone fast. Holy moly. Looking up to Nick Mello here. He's up behind Josh at the moment in the number 66. And a nice Audi livery, I have to say. I'm a big fan of that colour. I don't know why. It's just, it's really like rocking my socks at the moment, we'll say. Right on board with Nick Mello as he probably knows about the DRS advantage as well. So there's no point making a silly move into this chicane. Just tuck up under that rear wing and stay there until you get to that main straight. But we know Nick Mello, he's one of the more aggressive drivers down here in the server. So of course he's going to try and make a move here around the outside. Just gets the brakes on. Oh, locks him up. Pops a few little flat spots on those slicks, but that won't worry him too much because he will, I think, get the DRS as well. Yeah, see, that's a double whammy there for Nick Mello, so he will just pull away down the main straight, and off he goes. But we'll check on Sprinkler because he is coming up on the back of Josh as well. Josh going defensive. I don't know if he really needed to at that point, but he's going to leave himself vulnerable, but Sprinkler just makes a meal of it. That's the end of him. So there goes Eric through as well. Dravelmere gets through there on Sprinkler as well. So disaster for Sprinkler. Loses about 3 positions in 1 mistake. That's what can happen here in the early stages of a race. When everyone's kind of bunched up, if you make any early mistakes, you really, really set yourself back. Here goes Dravelmere on the charge again. Heading up the hill to the blind left-hander. Just gets on the brakes, turns it in. Whoa, geez, Eric just hanging it around the outside. Really wants to make a battle out of this. gets it done. There goes Drav up into the top 5, and he's on a charge. He's got 14 minutes, and he's only about 10, 11 seconds off the lead at the moment. Alex McEwen running away with it. He's got 8 seconds to spare on Specky K behind him. So he's not too worried. He's out there in the clear air at the moment. Nick Mello, however, can see the smoke coming from Specky K's car. He's not sure if he's looking at a Formula 3 car or Willie Nelson's touring bus. There's smoke billowing out the back of that thing. And he's just outside the 1 second range, so I don't think he has DRS. But for some reason, that rear wing is open, ladies and gentlemen. Do we have the stewards on board? Are you allowed to open the DRS without being in the DRS detection zone? Oh, I don't know. I'm not one of the stewards, so maybe that's one for the race control to have a look at after the race. I'm not putting anyone in the shit right now, but that's it's just an observation that I just made there. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, I don't mean to cough into the microphone, but I think it's starting to get that throat bug again. Goodness me. Dravelmere now looking to make it another position in the bag. He's got Josh in his sights. There's only a 3/10 advantage at the moment. And he's happy to sit there because, as he knows, he's made nearly all of his overtakes done in the DRS zone, as most people have. But look at this. Very vulnerable here. He's going to just dive to the inside. Very good awareness there from Dravelmere. He'll have the first bite of this cherry going in, but gee whiz, Josh doesn't give him any room to breathe, and Eric gives him a little slap up the arse as well, but he gets the worst of it as he spins off into the bunda. So Dravelmere just copping a little bit from both ends there. Poor bastard at the top of the hill, but he is still in the DRS detection range, so he will have that rear wing opened up in just a few moments, and that will be a 4/10 advantage to him as he goes down this front straight. Let's see what the suck and the DRS combined can do. You can see how far that Formula 3 car is of Josh in front of him, and that will just start to get bigger and bigger as we go into the braking zone. I suspect Dravelmere will be right up his clacker as we get into turn 1, as he does. So he'll be just sitting there biding his time. Alex McEwen hasn't made too much of a headway there on Specky K either. That gap is kind of neutralised at about 8.3 seconds. We'll just go and check on Alex McEwen. Actually, his last lap was a 1:32.1, and Dravelmere is a 1:35. So he really needs to get around Josh at this moment if he has any chance of battling for the win. But I tell you what, Josh is doing his best impression of a London double-decker bus at the moment, making that Formula 3 car as wide as humanly possible. Look at him all over the road, just checking his mirrors. He's absolutely driving in the mirrors at the moment, is Josh. He might even be better off just letting Drav go and taking advantage of the DRS himself to try and just propel himself a bit further down the racetrack. Because the longer he battles with Drav here, it's giving Sprinkler and Eric a nice little invitation to join the party later on in this race, and he might just find himself dropping behind the pair of them if they end up catching up. So another little bit of racecraft info there imparted from the super coach, as Zach O'Reilly calls me. But yeah, you don't want to spend all your money battling at the start of the race. And look at that DRS. There's really not much Josh can do there. But is Josh going to send it back? He looks about it, but he's just too far back there into turn 1. So he will just say goodbye to Drav as he drives off into the distance in his hunt to get up into the podium positions. He's got a big gap now to Mello. That's a 9-second gap to Nick Mello, who has his hands full with Specky K in front. And actually, that's Alex McEwen as well. This is a three-way battle for the lead, ladies and gentlemen. I think Alex McEwen has come a cropper somewhere, and he has just dissipated that 8-second advantage that he once had. So this is a three-way battle for the lead. We've got Alex McEwen, we've got Specky K, we've got Mello. And I'll tell you what, if these guys get stuck in, Dravelmere will fancy his chances of catching up and making a move on all three of them at once, I hope. That will be action aplenty for the stream. Here we go here. That is Mello up behind Specky K. Gets that job. These guys are side by side going down into turn 18. He's not going to get it done now, but he will have the DRS. So watch this, ladies and gents. This will be very much a sitting duck situation, but it looks like Specky K's got the DRS as well. So not really much doing there for either of them. It's just going to be a bit of organic suck for Mello, and it's not going to be enough for him to get around. So McEwen just doing Specky K a favour there and keeping him in that second position. And that's probably where he wants him to be honest. He'd rather have Specky K behind him than his old sparring partner and teammate Nick Mello, who we've seen will just launch his nose through any door that is half open or otherwise. So he wants Specky K back there for as long as possible, and even as long to maybe even invite Dravelmere into this battle, and that will just sort of distract Mello enough to maybe lift the burners, lift the torch off Specky K and off McEwen, so he can run off into the distance. But I tell you what, he's doing a good job out of it as we speak. He's he's got 8/10 to Specky K, has Alex McEwen. Man, you see these drivers really attacking the curves. There goes Mello. He's going to drop off behind here. He's going to lose the DRS advantage. And that's huge. That's a big mistake there from Nick Mello. He might just be a little bit undercooked for this one. But having fun nonetheless. Sprinkler is up behind Josh, but we do have a battle for the lead, so we're going to have to tune into that. Specky K has the DRS advantage. This is huge for him in the championship standings. He might make up a fair few points here. If you stop the race now, he'd probably take that deal with Dravelmere back there in fourth. But look at that. That wing is wide open, and he just goes around the outside. Easy as you like. Pulls in, doesn't have to take a foot off that racing line, and he gets a new lead of the race. That is Specky K in the Van Amersfoort Ford Racing number 22. Does it easily, and Alex is just going to hang on to him too, because he knows the importance of staying within a second of the car in front. It's a big part of the strategy here in these DRS machines. It's staying within that 1 second mark so you can return serve on the next lap. With 6 minutes and 40 seconds to go. That's what you want to do. You want to just stay there. You want to give yourself every chance. Yes, Specky K, your man, there he is. He's out in front. He's got his hands full with Alex McEwen behind as well. Neither of these guys will give an inch. I'll give you the hot tip. But Alex is one of the more calculated guys. He's got an absolutely cracking racing IQ, so don't count him out in any stretch of the imagination. I'm not going to commentators curse anyone, but I know who my money's on at this point in time. The DRS is about to get unleashed here down the main straight. Whoa, look at that. Alex getting huge sideways action. But look, there goes the front wing, or the rear wing, should I say. Right on board with Alex, and see which way he goes. He's going to dig to the left. Specky tries to cover him, but oh, geez, they come close there as McEwen went past. Geez, that was a little bit too close for comfort. There'd be a little brown stain in one of those boys' pants, I'm sure, right now. But there goes Alex, a new leader for this lap. We'll see what happens for the next one, because this could just be a bit of a leapfrog situation. If Specky can hang on, it's going to come down to whose turn is it when it comes to being the final lap, because I don't see here the pace differentials being too much for any of these guys to break the toe of that DRS. Poor old Mello, that mistake he made has really cost him, because those two guys are copping the DRS from each other and effectively just putting 4/10 on him each lap. So he's got no one there to tow him back into this race, and another mistake as well, just compounding things for Nick Mello. But we can't take our eyes off this battle for the lead that's happening here in front of us. Alex McEwen just holding off Specky K for the time being. He's 4/10 behind, so if he can stay in that range, he will have another chance to lead this race come into turn one for the 10th time. Whoa, very deep under brakes as well, but that's what we've come to expect from Specky. He's pretty good under brakes, this guy. Once he gets it dialed in. Here he goes now. He's got the suck. He's got the DRS, and we will see him move to the inside. Alex is probably just going to take the racing line as he does, because he knows he's a sitting duck. So he's going to stay where he knows he will be and get set for the first left-right chicane and try and just stay with Specky K. Look at that. Specky K actually smashed that first couple of turns, and he's put 5/10 on Alex McEwen already. So, gee whiz, he's really pushing to the limit this lap. He's going to try his best to break that DRS toe, and he's going to try and do it right now. But Alex McEwen returns serve and just says, I'll take those couple of tenths back, thank you very much. And he does so into the left-hand hairpin. Holy moly, that's good driving here from our two leaders. I'm not going to call it either way because what have we got? 3 minutes to go. A lap's worth about a 1 minute 30, so it's 2 minutes. 2 minutes, 1 minute, 60 seconds. So say we've got, what, 4 more laps to go? Work it out, ladies and gents. Who's going to be in front by the final time they cross the line? And is the DRS going to be enough to get you across the line? I think whoever's leading on that last lap will win. They're not going to have to... they're not going to be run down by any DRS in the final lap. But we're going to see Alex McEwen line up again, get that rear wing open and retake the lead of this race going down into turn 1. This is classic stuff here, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you call a DRS battle. We'll ride on board with McEwen. He will go to the left. Specky K knows it, and he just stays on the racing line. And I'm getting deja vu again. This is just happening all over again. It's a Groundhog Day here in Sensational TV on a Friday night. It might just be. But where is Bill Murray? Who knows? He's there in the marshal's box, waving that checkered flag in 2.5 minutes. It's really where you want to be. But here goes Alex McEwen. It's his turn to push it to the limit and try and break that toe. That's what it's all about here, ladies and gents. Looking back, there's a little battle forming for 10th, but we're not gonna get down there because this is where the action is. You cannot blink here because these guys, although it may seem like a little bit of a procession, it looks like Alex McEwen's really just turned the afterburners on in this second sector, and he's got that lead out to half a second. That's 5/10. Geez, if he can maintain that, if he can get it up to 7/10, that will, I think that might be enough just to keep himself in the lead for one more lap of this race. And, there goes Specky K, makes a mistake. That could be the end there for Specky. That's 8/10, 9/10, almost a second now coming down into the DRS detection point. He's still under that golden number of 1 second, so he will have the aid of the DRS. But gee whiz, he's a long way back this time. Will he get any chance to overtake McEwen? He probably knows he's got a tall task at hand. This will be the last lap, ladies and gentlemen. McEwen leads with the fastest lap of the race, mind you, 31.5. Thank you very much. And look at that. The DRS just isn't enough. Specky tried his best late on the brakes, but it's not enough. Alex has timed his run to perfection. Specky K just having a bit of a moment there during the chicane as well with a bit of oversteer. Thank you very much. But gee whiz, Alex has driven an absolutely cracking race here. These guys leapfrogging each other 3 or 4 times there during the last few laps. Exciting stuff. But gee whiz, you just can't stop Mr. McEwen when he's in one of these moods. He's light on the practice as well, so he's probably at that point. Well, look at this. It's not over yet. Specky K's just pulling out all the stops here in Sector 2, looking for the run up the hill into the chicane. He's right under the rear wing of Alex McEwen. We're going to ride on board and see if he's going to make a little dive here. He's going to. Of course he does. Late on the brakes. They touch. Oh, Specky K's been turned. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you can't say he didn't have a crack at it. Gee whiz. Alex McEwen staves off one final attack from Specky K. Oh, you knew it was coming. You knew it as soon as he exited that right-hander going up the hill, and he had that advantage of being right up under the rear wing. You knew it was coming, but they just came together, and Specky got the worst of it. But Alex McEwen takes the checkered flag in race 2 here, ladies and gentlemen, for GT Club's Formula 3 RSS Championship. Specky K has to be happy with second for the time being. I think he will be too in the championship standings. That will sort him out pretty well. Nick Mello comes across the line in third. Travelmere fourth place out there in no man's land, really. Once he got clear of Josh, he had a tall order. Just gives his mate Specky a little bit of something as well to think about. Josh crosses the line in fifth. And a little wait to Eric and a sprinkler. And then quite a large wait to Hughesy, who's still at the top end of this racetrack. Maybe a little bit underdone, as we see. Hughes is one of the better drivers around as well, so he's usually towards the front, but I think maybe just a little bit undercooked in the practice department. James Claypole will cross the line in ninth position, or will he? Because Brandon Pierce he might have something to say about it. There is only 2 turns to make anything happen. He's closing it down, but will he get it done? I don't think so. That's James Claypole across the line in ninth position, and Risky Pierce will round out the field here in a race 2. Oh, geez, they've just done a little form finish there. That's good stuff. Well, that's good stuff. That was an absolutely cracking race there in race 2. Alex McEwen coming out on top. Where's his car? There he is. The Ticketmaster, number 1. Here he is, number 1 here in race 2 tonight. And I'll tell you what, we're going to wrap that stream up, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a cracking evening. That's the wrong one. It's been a cracking evening here, coming to you live from Imola for GT Club's Formula 3 championship. That is round 7 done and dusted. Next week, I couldn't figure out where the next track is, but tune in next week and we'll have a new track for it. I'm sure it'll be a nice, big, open GP style, famous circuit, as they have all been so far. And can Specky K make his way up behind Dravelmere in the championship? That remains to be seen. But I'll tell you what, we're gonna wrap up this stream. I think it's Friday night, and it's 10 o'clock here on the Eastern Seaboard. So if you like what you see out there in Sensational Land, give us a like and subscribe on the video. If you really like what we do here at Sensational, we go live twice a week. We do Wednesday Cup, which is the next one to come, over at AK Racing. We've got GT Club on Fridays. The V8 supercars are going to start up soon as well, so that'll be happening on Sunday evenings. And there might be a couple of little surprises too in the sensational realm, but that cannot be divulged yet. So without further ado, my name is Chris Munro. I have been your commentator and broadcaster for this evening. Tune in on a Wednesday night with Zach O'Reilly, my co-founder here at Sensational TV. He's going to be taking the reins for Wednesday Cup, as I will be up north working. But I'll be back the following week. But yeah, so like, subscribe. I've done all the things. I've done the rigmarole. We've got a Patreon there as well. If you have the means and want to chuck us a few dollars, the link is down below in the description. But that's about enough from me tonight. So everyone out there, take 5 minutes and have a breath. I know I will be, because I haven't breathed all night. Holy moly! We're gonna just end it there. How do I end it? I don't know. Have a good night. We'll see you guys next week on Wednesday evening.